tells me about your word on Sundays. I never go, but tell them I'll go with them one day. They say you have the answers I've been longing for, but somehow I don't feel like I'm on one accord with you. I believe you have something for me alone. Humbly, Lord, how do I approach the throne? Cause all I have to offer, Lord, is it enough? I give you my trust. I heard you're a miracle worker, graceful healer for sinner. Can you take me in? Is there room for me? I have heard you dried the eyes of many, healed more hearts, love for plenty. Can you take me in? Is there room for me? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there room for me? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there room? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there room? Is there room for me? Oh, no. I heard how you saved Daniel from the lion's den, and stayed with Jonah in the well he was within. I need the protection, I know I'm not worthy. I'm in a state of desperation, Lord, I need that mercy. I believe you have something for me alone. Humbly, Lord, how do I approach the throne? Cause all I have to offer, Lord, is it enough? I give you my trust. I heard you're a miracle worker, graceful healer for sinner. Can you take me in? Is there room for me? I have heard you dried the eyes of many, healed more hearts, love for plenty. Can you take me in? Is there room for me? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there room for me? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there room? Is there room for me? Tell me, is there room? Is there room for me? I heard you're a miracle worker, graceful healer for sinner. Can you take me in? Can you take me in? I heard your wounds dry the eyes of many, heal more hearts, love for plenty. Can you take me in? Can you take me in? I heard you're a miracle worker, graceful healer for sinner. Can you take me in? Can you take me in? I heard you dry the eyes of many, heal my heart. Can you take me in? I heard you're a miracle worker, graceful healer for sinner. Can you take me in? Is there room for me? I have heard you dry the eyes of many, heal more hearts, love for plenty. Can you take me in? Is there room for me? Can you take me in? Is there room for me? Is there room for me? Can you take me in? Is there room for me? Is there room for me?
You're listening to Launch with Kim
and Dr. Newt
on Praise.fm.
Right.
Hello,
welcome to Launch
with Kim
and Dr. Newt.
Yes, he's still singing his song, y'all. He's still getting he's doing his vocal, vocal part for sure.
One of these days she gonna sing hers.
How is everyone doing? How are you guys doing? And welcome for those of you who are coming in. Thank you so much for stopping by. Check us out a little bit today in Launch.
You want to tell them about the song?
Yeah, so the song you just heard was called Is There Room for Me? And the two vocalists on there is Charles Beatty, who is my cousin, and my son, Anthony Doobie Dorm, singing Is There Room for Me? I forget the name of the gentleman who wrote it, but however, he is from Phoenix, Arizona. He worked in the studio with them, so I can't remember his name. I totally forgot. It's been a while.
And Doobie has his production. What's his name of this company?
It's called Rida Music.
But I thought he has, isn't it Dorm Production?
Oh, and Dorm Productions.
Something
yeah.
like that.
But nonetheless, that song is there room for me? And it just talks about the Lord being a miracle worker. So great lyrics. Good job, guys. Um, well, welcome, guys. We hope that you are having a good day. Hopefully, it was a productive day, relaxing day. Hi, Amanda.
Every day's a
Transform. Hey.
Every day's a good day. You don't believe me? Try missing one of them.
Yeah, try missing one is right. That's for sure.
See what's a good day.
Oh my goodness. Well, nonetheless, I guess I should say I hope your day has been productive, because the day itself is good.
Yes.
But whether or not you were productive in it, that remains to be seen. You know how well you did throughout the day.
Right.
But yeah, so we're here. It is Monday night. It is late on the East Coast for me. This is late because I don't know why I feel so tired today. It's not even really that late.
You're gonna pour some energy. Pour some energy in there.
I need some energy today. I do. I need some energy because I am feeling like a little tired. Nonetheless, all is well and getting better.
Yeah. So we're welcoming you here on Facebook and in praise.fm.
Yes.
And also on our Periscope and other platforms. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, we do not take it lightly that you
Not
stop
at
what
all.
you're doing to hear what we have to say out of these lips of clay. We understand your time.
So
Greatest
valuable.
commodity. It's so precious. It's so
It
valuable
is.
because you can't get it back once it's spent.
That's so true.
Thank you for sitting in with us. Today we're going to just kind of jump into something a little. We've been talking about marriage the last few weeks. So if you know anything about Launch, what we do is we try to connect you with ideas, principles, and things that you can ponder so you can launch or take off in different areas of your life.
Yes.
Things that God has given you. Those books that you want to write, those plays, those dances, those movies, that property you want to get, that business you want to start, that marriage relationship you want to build, whatever it is that you need to or want to launch in, that idea was placed in you. You didn't come up with it. I believe those things are embedded in us. They're assignments that we are to accomplish. So we have to get ourselves in position to be able to accomplish them. So
hey, Selena.
It's kind of like is that Frog? Hey, how you doing, Frog? So it's kind of like the scripture that says your steps are ordered.
Yeah.
So I believe that your steps are ordered, but you still have to take the steps.
Yeah, you do.
So the whole purpose of Launch is to help equip people, motivate people, energize people so that they'll take those steps.
Look inside yourself and see what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Whatever it is, doesn't necessarily mean you need to log into Facebook and be teaching online. I don't know what it is, but you know what it is. So just to encourage you to just step up to the plate and just, trust the things that are within you. Hi, Elder Betty, Rose, and Selena, and Amanda Transfers. Thank you so much for Transforms coming in. Thank you so much. I know there are others. We just cannot see them because we're on the way we're on live. Facebook changes things so often. So you used to be able to look at two different things, but now they lock you into one page.
Everyone on any platform. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Listen, we want to kind of jump in tonight and kind of give you a cognitive shift, something to think about, more principle. So before I start, I'm going to tell you a little story. So around the way where I grew up, right, we had old heads. We called them old heads, right? And one of the old heads, my dad's friend, he was like the mechanic for the whole community. So he, his nails and stuff was always greasy. He always had them overalls on, except on Sunday when he went to church, because everybody went to church, right? His name was Mr. Streety. Now, Mr. Streety has since passed away. So he was an entrepreneur back in the day. And Mr. Streety talked real fast, right? I couldn't understand what he was saying half the time, right? My dad understood everything he said. But on top of him talking real fast, he smoked cigarettes, Cools. And he had that cigarette that he would put right there. It kind of like it was glued or taped to his lip. And as he would talk, that cigarette would just kind of stay there. And I would be looking at the cigarette like, how is it staying there, right? And he would be talking to you, go get that screwdriver there, young fella, hey, right? And he was saying, go get a screwdriver, right? But I couldn't half understand him. But the one thing he would say, and a lot of the old heads around the way where I grew up would say, they would say, keep it pushing, young fella, keep it pushing, right? And I understood that clearly, keep it pushing.
Right.
But I didn't know at that time is what they were trying. That was kind of a deposit into us from generation to generation. See, they knew in their wisdom that circumstances were going to change,
Right.
situations were going to change, you know, people and things were going to change in your life. But no matter what changed, you have to keep it
Right.
pushing.
Right.
And that it is different in each
For
of
each
you. Hear
of
my
us.
voice crack. That it is different. Look, did it again. It's different in each of our lives, right?
Right.
So whatever that it is for you, you have a responsibility to keep it pushing, right? And what we want to talk to you today is basically how to kind of keep it pushing, to continue your forward march
Yeah.
in progress, your forward march of progress in uncertain times.
And in everything that you do,
Yes.
we've been teaching from our book, Claiming Your Baggage, and telling you how you can address certain things within yourself. Well, even in this keeping it pushing during difficult times in relationships and in
Right.
family and in
Right.
business and on your job, you're going to still need that same motivation
Yes.
that you need in
Yes.
your home to
Holistic.
keep it pushing. Yes, it's a holistic lifestyle.
It's kingdom thinking.
Kingdom thinking.
So before we start, what we have to say to you is because if you don't catch this or don't believe this, accept what I'm going to say, then you can turn it off because nothing else is going to make sense to you, right? Or you're just not going to agree, unless you just want to stay on and be a hater. I mean, but nevertheless,
But haters are good.
yeah, haters are good. You know, favor and haters go together. But the thing is this: there's two things in this world, in this life, that we cannot control, right? We can manage them or manage ourselves to use them better, but we cannot control those.
Right.
And those two things are, first, that time is going to keep on ticking.
Sure is.
And the second thing is that change is coming.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? Time's going to keep on ticking and change is coming. And the deal is this: although we can't necessarily control them, we can manage ourselves and how we operate in those things, and how we manage ourselves in time and change. That's going to impact every area of your life.
Right.
Every area of your life.
Every area.
So we did a little research in this space. There's three basic areas. I'm giving big buckets of your life, and one is your peace of mind, right? Your mental, your peace of mind, and everything that goes along with that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. The other one is your effectiveness in what you're doing, what you put your hands to do, and how effective you are in doing that. That is your solistic. That means something to you. And the third thing is the what, meaning this: not just how effective you are at those things that you're doing, but what are you producing? You know, how do you measure what you're doing? How do you measure that effectiveness? And we're going to call that prosperity.
Okay.
So 3 words: peace of mind. Well, 3 terms: peace of mind, effectiveness, and prosperity. How you manage those, how you manage time and change, yourself and time and change. All 3 of those things are going to be effective. So let's kind of talk about the first one.
That's right. Change gonna come, Amanda.
Yep, change gonna come. It's coming. First one, we want to talk about peace of mind.
Which we all want.
Yes, peace of mind. Everybody wants peace of mind. So when you think of peace of mind, if we were in a room, I would say, "What do you think about it?" And I would try to get you to feedback with me, right? And I know there's little delay, so we can't really do it on
But you can
on time,
post,
but you can still put it in the chat. You know, when you think of peace of mind, what do you think of, right? So people usually think of security. You know, some type
Safety.
of comfort. Yeah, safety, comfort, familiarity.
She said Sam Cooke.
She's still on the change. Something that's consistent. And, you know, that you know it's there, right?
Right.
And that's what gives us peace of mind.
That's right.
You know, I know that my wife, when I look over in the bed at night, my wife is there. You know, it's not going to be the boogeyman, you know, or something, whatever the case may be, right? You know, so we look for that peace of mind. But here's the deal: since we know change is coming, peace of mind and change are enemies. So change is coming.
Wow.
It actually upsets peace of mind because change is not going. It doesn't want you to always operate in what's familiar or what's consistent.
Right.
It wants you to continue to progress or to switch whatever happens in your life at any time.
So the benefit of growth through change is to interrupt your peace of mind.
Exactly. Exactly.
Breaking the consistency.
My little piece.
Wow.
That I have.
Wow.
Right. So we in order to do that, in order to kind of negotiate that, we have to do two things. First of all, since we know change is coming,
right,
you gotta be prepared. You know, we used to have a saying in around the neighborhood where I grew up. We said, "Keep your head on the swivel." Keep your head on the swivel so you don't get caught leaning.
Right.
Right. So I know change is coming. I'm watching for it. And here's the deal: the things that you expect, they can't disappoint you.
Right. That's true. That's real true.
You already know it's coming. Right. So
that's very
so as far as your peace of mind is concerned, we expect that change is coming, so that we can be flexible when that change comes. We're not surprised by it, so we still maintain our peace of mind in the change. We're not thrown off centered so much that we can't handle what's happening.
Right.
And we lose our peace of mind. We get off centered, and then we're unproductive. Can't do anything. So when it comes to change and peace of mind, the only thing you have to do is expect that it's coming
and embrace it.
Yep.
Because it's coming.
It's how you manage yourself in those things.
And we talked about that in the past couple of weeks, where we talk about there's going to be difficulties, there's going to be tough times.
Yep.
Just be ready for them.
Yep.
Expect them. They're coming.
Yep. So the other thing I want to talk to you about is effectiveness. So remember, we said there was three things: peace of mind, effectiveness, and prosperity, right? So when we're talking about effectiveness, we're talking about basically the things in your life that you are trying to accomplish. So if you manage your time and change properly, then you can be effective in all the spokes on the wheel in your life. So you heard us talk before. We say your life is like a wheel, a bicycle wheel, and you got all these spokes on it. You might have a financial spoke. You might have a relationship spoke.
Children.
School, career, property, whatever. However you define it and divide out your life. There's no right or wrong way. It's all to you. But you have spokes. So if you learn to manage yourself in that time in change dynamic properly, then you can be effective in all of those spokes.
That's true.
You can be effective in all those spokes. And here's what it's going to take. It's going to take three things.
Yes, that's right, Julia Dobbs. Have on your armor.
It's going to take three things from you. The first thing is you got to have a plan.
That's right.
So wait a minute. Hold up. Miller, you just said things are going to change. So how can I have a plan? I can't have a plan on those things going to change. I'm going to make a plan. Well, here's the deal. We're standing, you know what the Pangea is? So way back in history, all of the 7 continents used to be seen together, right? They called it the Pangea. It was one giant landmass, right? And over the years, the tectonic plates of that Pangea began to separate and move apart so that the 7 continents sit where we see them now on the globe.
And they're still moving.
And they're still moving, right? So my point is this: the tectonic plates beneath us are moving.
That's right.
Right? They're moving.
In our lives. That's right.
But the deal is, they're the tectonic plates. They're the foundation. They are the land upon which we stand. So even though they are moving, we're moving relatively with them, meaning that they are our foundation. So when you make a plan on principles.
That's good.
You don't make a plan on conditions or destinations that you're trying to reach. You make plans in your life based on principles.
Right.
If you give, you shall receive.
Right.
I'll reap what I sow. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. You make plans on those principles, and that's how you define. We're going to talk about a little bit later your character. So when those principles are in play, they're laws. Everything has to operate around them.
Right.
So your tectonic plates are solid based on principles. So the plan that you make has to be flexible to handle situations and circumstances,
shifting,
but
moving.
solid based on principles. You can't step outside of your principles on your plan. If my principle, for instance, say I'm doing do unto others as you have them do unto you. Do unto others as you have them do unto you, whatever the case may be, whatever principle you use, right?
That's right.
Right? So if I have to now do someone wrong because of a shift in conditions.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
I'm not operating in a plan. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I continue to do right by others,
Right.
then whatever I have to do flexible to handle the
Mhm.
situation or circumstances taking place, I am solid operating in the plan.
Mhm.
I'm not thrown off because
Right.
I'm still firm on the tectonic
Mhm.
plate.
Mhm.
Is that making sense?
Mhm.
Second thing you have to do is you have to avoid abnormal use.
Mhm.
Remember, we talked about abnormal
Yeah, we
use
talked about
before.
abnormal use of each other, abnormal use of things.
Right. So when we say abnormal use, we're saying abuse.
Mhm.
Abnormal use, abuse. of a
Using
thing.
something outside of its purpose
Right.
is what abnormal use is.
Right. So in essence, if you don't know the purpose of a thing,
Right.
you're bound
abuse it.
to abuse or abnormally
Mhm.
use it.
Mhm. Which happens in relationships a lot.
Right.
And if you're wondering why men or women abuse each other, that happens because they don't understand the purpose of that person.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, and we could veer off.
Yeah, you can go anywhere
Yeah,
with that
we
one.
could veer off. Just as a
But that's just an example.
right. Right. As a quick example, like sometimes something needs to be talked about or aired out in the house. Just recently, we had
Mhm.
this needs to be aired out in the
Mhm,
household.
mhm.
So I'm more introverted and not talking about it.
Mhm.
Right. So Kim is going to force the conversation in her way, right?
Mhm.
So if I didn't understand, like that's kind of like her purpose,
Mhm.
you know, I could get upset and lash out.
So I have to remind him of my position.
Right.
So I say to him, I'm your helpmeet. And so I'm going to bring these things up.
Right.
Right away for him, that triggers.
And I gotta.
That's right. Shoot. Remember, I'm Deborah. I say, remember, I'm your Deborah.
So those kind of things. So anyway, another example of abnormal use. So I have a Surface, Microsoft Surface. I don't have an iPad. I have Microsoft Surface. But if I was to take that Microsoft Surface and try to nail a nail in the wall,
Yeah.
what's going to happen
You're
to
going
it?
to damage it.
Yeah. Because why? It's not built to nail a nail in the wall. I'm
Right.
abnormally using it. I'm going to add, and I can abnormally use it to the point where I crack the screen or break it or mess up the hard drive so it doesn't even come on. It's not
Mhm.
even usable.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to know the purpose of a thing,
Right.
or we could abnormally use it to the degree that it's no longer usable at all in our lives.
Very good.
So as we're seeking to be more effective, managing our time and managing the changes that are taking place in our lives, we have to have that plan that's based on principles,
Mhm.
and we have to understand what's around us
Right.
and what are the purposes of those things around us. So we know how to use them properly because they're there for us to use for our advantage. That goes back to Genesis 1 where it said,
Mhm.
and subdue
Mm.
the earth, meaning step on it as a stepping stone to your
Mhm.
next.
Mhm.
So we're supposed to use what's around
Right.
us, which means we got to know
To
how
get
to
to
use
the
it.
next place. Exactly. You have
Right.
to understand its position.
Right.
Mhm.
And the third thing you have to do, which goes with that, keep your head swivel
Mhm.
on the head on the swivel, so you don't get caught leaning. You
Right.
got to know your resources.
Right.
You got to know what's around you.
Mm-hmm.
Who you watching?
Mm.
What do they have? What can they say to help you?
Mm-hmm.
Who you watching? What is it that they're doing that you're not
Right.
going to do?
Well, what example are they showing you
Right.
that you want to follow?
Exactly.
Or
Who's
not.
talking to you? What are you listening to? What's pointing into your ear?
Yeah. Who's in your ear?
Yes. You know what programs are there for you? You know
Mhm.
what levels of education can you do? Is there apprenticeship? Who can you follow? Who can you
Mhm.
shadow? You have to know the resources around you so you can tap into those resources
Yeah.
and use them
Mm-hmm.
for your purpose
Mhm.
and to move forward. So when times
And use them correctly.
yes, and use them correctly.
Not abnormally.
Exactly. So as time, in those times of uncertainty, like this pandemic, the pandemonium situation that we find ourselves in here in the United States and across the world, many people stopped.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped their forward progress.
Mm-hmm.
These are times when forward progress is even more necessary and more prevalent.
important.
And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But in order for you to be effective in every area of your life in these times, you have to have a plan based on foundations and principles and flexible so that you can handle the situations. You got to understand what's around you so you can avoid abnormally using things,
Mhm.
know their purpose, what they're for, and know what those things are so you can use them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said something.
Yeah, Julie says her husband, Julie Dobbs McIntyre said, my husband is listening with us tonight, 33 years of marriage. Yep, nail on the head. Good.
Well,
We're so glad.
congratulations
Congratulations on that
33
33. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's gold right there.
Yes, it is.
Right there. So let's talk about the third part. We talked about peace of mind. We talked about effectiveness. Let's talk about prosperous or prosperity. So that word prosperity or prosperous, it comes from, in English, it comes from a Latin word, prosperous. It says it's pronounced the same way. It's just spelled differently, Prosperus instead of Ous.
Prosper us.
Yes, prosper us, right? And what it means is doing well, right? But you know, I like to take words and break them apart. So if you look at that first word of prosperity, P-R-O, that means operating on a higher level, right? In advance on a higher level. That parity part has the connotation that means functional equivalence. Functional equivalence. So if you put them together, pro and parity, right? You have the fact that in order for us to be prosperous, we must be functioning, equivalently functioning on a high level in every area of our lives. So prosperity doesn't just mean money. It doesn't just mean property. It has to do with relationships. It has to do with you know, what you're accomplishing, your give back, your value in every area of your life, right? So managing time and change speaks to your whole being, to the prosperity of your whole being, right? So in order to be able to operate in prosperity in these times of uncertainty, we have to operate in our whole body, our whole being, I mean. Our body, our soul, and our spirit. So let's break that apart. As far as our body, what do we do to be prosperous? Well, you need to have some type of exercise regime.
Eat healthy.
Right? I do something, we got to eat healthy, and you got to get some rest. Those three things your body needs, right? So when I talk about exercise, I know people kind of cut it off, you know, it's you're exercising based on your level, right? I do a thing called Getting Fit at 50. Getting Fit at 50. I put it on Facebook. If you can't find it, then inbox me and I'll send it to you. But I do a little quick message just to motivate you to keep moving. But one thing I say in all those messages consistently is this: I say, listen, get up from where you are, run, walk, crawl, jump, dance, just do something. Get your 30 in, right? So that alone just gets your body moving, gets your blood pumping, so you can oxidize your muscles, oxidize your nerves, everything, every part of your body, so that you can keep it moving. Because the more you move, the more you'll be able to move, right? As far as eating, we suggest a high alkaline diet, right? From the movie, high.
All right.
We suggest a high alkaline diet, right? You know, with a lot of leafy greens and things of that sort, kind of stay away from acidic food. And because our body in its natural state is high alkaline. So if we keep it in its natural state, it can heal itself and replenish itself easier. As far as rest, we're saying, listen, get the rest you need. Listen to your body and get the rest you need, you know, before your body shuts you down and makes you rest.
Right.
And if you're 50 or over, especially, that regeneration that happens in your time of rest is necessary.
Definitely.
Yeah, your body needs to stop and replenish itself mentally.
So that means putting your technology away at nighttime so you can rest, because if not, your brain does not shut off. I just learned that.
Right. That's your body. Now, as far as your soul, how to maintain your soul, man, we want to put the soul, man, more as talking about your character. Let's put it that way. So your soul, man, deals with those emotions.
You can do it, Amanda.
The emotions, the will, and the intellect. So as far as your emotions are concerned, you need to understand that the environment around you and your emotions, they are tied together. So they operate directly proportionate. When things happen in your environment around you, you emotionally are affected. It's like an involuntary impulse, right? Now you can control them,
right?
But if you're not aware of that, you're not controlling them. When things get hot, you get hot. You know, when things get uncertain and off-center, you get uncertain and off-center, because it's what we see. We're in a physical environment, so we got to understand those emotions are tied to the environment, and we have to be emotionally intelligent.
That's the key.
And what emotionally intelligent means is not just aware that something's happening and what my emotions are, but aware how it's affecting me and how my emotions are affecting others, right? So in order for you to stay productive and prosperous, you got to be emotionally intelligent and not allow circumstances and situations to, that one-to-one, what do I want to call it? Balance.
Okay, I was
I'm looking at a math
sure.
problem.
What?
Equal. You know how the fractions are equal to each other? So you don't want them to be equal. Directly proportionate. That's the word I'm thinking of. You don't want that proportionate to operate. You have to control that. Be emotionally intelligent. As far as your will is concerned, you have to operate in character. Good character. And here's what I mean. I'm talking about those hard words that we don't talk about anymore, like honesty and integrity and diligence and perseverance and courage. Those are big giant words. They don't even teach them in school anymore. They're not even on the spelling list. Those big giant words, those are character things, and those things don't change.
Right.
I don't care what changes in your life. If you're courageous, you're courageous. If you're diligent, you're diligent.
Right.
No matter what circumstances you have, no matter what your resources are or are not. So you want to focus on your character.
Right.
In times of uncertainty, be aware of the uncertainty that it's going to affect you emotionally, but I'm going to focus on my character. I choose today, and I do affirmations. I read and I say it to myself. I choose today to operate in integrity.
Right.
I choose today to be diligent. I choose today to persevere. And that's what I focus on. So that's how you keep your soul, man, healthy. And as far as your intellect is concerned, it's very simple. You are what you eat. So I think it was Jim Rohn. I know John Maxwell said, some other folks said it, some studies were done, and maybe we'll do an exercise with you to show you this. But the 5 people that you spend most of your time with, you are the average of those 5 people.
So you can check your cell phone and see the 5 people, the last 5 people you texted or the ones you text the most, and check that and see who it is that you have surrounded yourself with and see how they influence you. And that lets you know where you're going.
That's going to take some honesty.
That's going to be on. You're going to tell them how you can check yourself.
Lady Ray looking at her phone.
I know that's right.
So the thing about that is this. Listen, if you're the average of them, if the 5 people you spend most of your time with make $30,000 a year, you make the average of that. If they're not owning property or owning property, you're the average of that. So it goes for every area of your life. In other words, what we're saying, the Bible says, faith cometh by hearing.
What you hear?
Right? So what's coming in your ear gates is affecting you. Right? What's coming in your eye gates is affecting you. In your mind gate, your heart gate, they're all gateways into you, into your body, soul, spirit. They're all gateways into you, right? So you are responsible. You are charged with, I don't know how to say it any stronger. It's up to you to guard those gates. I think it's in Psalms. I think it's 51. Out of your heart flows the issues of life, right? So you have to guard your heart. Your heart is that soul, man. What's coming into your gates? Because what comes in your gates is going to influence you. I don't care who you are. Somebody can pull you down before you can pull them up.
Wow.
If you're not aware of or on assignment. So in times of uncertainty, you got to pay attention to what you hear. So I'll prove it to you. How much have you heard on the internet about vaccinations and COVID? The president.
A lot. That's what's been out there in the media right now.
Racial relations.
Right. That's what you hear.
Sexual preferences. You've heard all these things. And all that stuff is like wide open right now on the internet. And I can guarantee you that even me just saying those words sparked a thought in your mind.
Absolutely.
That
Schema.
Yep. That lean to what's being said on that mass social media.
Because you've been,
we've been programmed.
Programmed.
So we've got to guard our gates. So
can't believe everything. Can't listen to everything. Can't support everything. Can't hear everything.
Right. I'm very careful who I spend my time with and how much time I spend with them for that reason. So I cannot control when I'm in an environment. I cannot control what I'm going to say hits me or comes at me in the environment. That's like you said, the fiery darts. I can't control those darts that are coming, But what I can control is whether I'm in that environment long enough for those darts to jack me up.
Right.
So you have to guard that, okay?
So true.
So as far as your spirit, man, I'm taking a long time on this one, but as far as your spirit, man, is your prosperity level, so that is that equivalence, functional equivalence in every area of your life, your belief system. You got to focus on that belief system. That is what you're looking at. That is where you stand. When times are uncertain and everything is moving, the constant is my belief system.
Right.
So I believe, I'm a believer in God. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a believer in the Word of God. So that grounds me. That's what I stand on. That's my hope. That's what I look towards.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what kind of keeps me going. That's the light on the hill that I'm chasing after, right? But as far as you yourself, there's another dynamic to that. And I know in church we always talk about, put your trust in God. He can give it to God. You know, for many years I was like, well, what does that mean? How do you do that? Right? You know, like I need to pay my bill, right? Right. But there's another dynamic to it, and it's you. Because remember, we're made in His image and His likeness, and I believe it's in John 10. It talks about how we're gods, the little G, right? So we can do what He does, and we can do it how He does it, and we're meant to do that here on this planet. So 2 words I want to give you, it's self-esteem and self-image. Self-esteem and self-image. Self-esteem and self-image. We have to focus on and pay attention to and be very deliberate in building and maintaining our self-esteem and self-image. And let me tell you the difference. So I have eyes. And when I look around the office right here, I see cell phones, I see lights, I see mics, I see speakers, keyboards, you know, I see all kinds of stuff. I'm looking out, right? But I don't see me.
Right.
Right.
Which we talked about in a relationship.
Exactly.
Before.
I don't see me.
Don't see ourselves.
Right. So self-image means that I have to take this is gross, I know. I have to take my eyeballs out, turn them around, and I have to look at myself. And the deal is when I look at Kim with my eyes, let me stay in the camera if I get in trouble. I look at Kim, there's certain emotions that come my way. There's a certain thought. There's certain presumptions. There's a certain judgment of who she is and what she means to me based on past experience, right? When I turn my eyes around and look at me, guess what? I have certain thoughts. I have certain presumptions. I have certain judgments. I have certain things about myself.
Right.
Right. That I choose not to look at on a daily basis. Many of our self-image is not as positive as it needs to be. Right. So when times are uncertain, our spirit man suffers because we don't see ourselves in a positive light.
Wow.
That's why it's important for us to build those other parts of us as well, our body, you know, our soul man, our emotions, and stand on firm things, so we can begin to have affirmations. So we begin to allow God to do His work and talk with us spiritually. So we can begin to relate with our partners and hear all kinds of things so we can see ourselves differently. Self-image is how you see yourself. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Right? You've heard me say many times, I made a lot of mistakes back in the day. Right? And for a long time, those mistakes paralyzed me. So when I would get opportunity to do something different, and again, I'm not seeing myself in a positive light, even though others are, right? My esteem was still stuck on yesterday. So when I had the opportunity to do a thing, I didn't do it because I didn't think I was worthy.
Right.
I didn't think I could. I remembered yesterday, and that paralyzed. So in times of uncertainty, your spirit man has to be healthy in its self-image, and how you see yourself, and how you...
She said how we talk to ourselves.
Exactly, how you talk to yourself. You got... and I have them come, especially in the shower, man. I get to talking. And then I realize I'm talking loud, and everybody's probably like, what's he talking?
Who's everybody? It's just me.
I used to know when the kids were
when the kids was home too.
So then I start singing to try to play it off.
And preaching and teaching. It's funny.
So, but anyway, those three things, what were they? Peace of mind, effectiveness, and prosperity. So we just kind of gave you some things you need to do in those three areas of your life, right? While in times of uncertainty. But what happens when unexpected change comes?
And that's what we all experienced in March, and we're still experiencing.
Right, right. Because change is gonna come.
Change coming.
Sometimes you can see it, you can feel it, you kind of know. And sometimes we're lazy or we're procrastinators and we don't get in position to handle it. You know. But what about when it just boom pops up? Whoa, where'd that come from? Right. Well, what you have to do, first of all, like I said before, is expect that change is taking place. Because when you expect the change is going to come, even if it's unexpected, right? You didn't know what's going to happen. You know change is going to happen, but I didn't know it's going to happen right now.
Right.
Right. It's easier for you to get in position and to handle it if you expect that change is
already
always taking
right.
place. Right. I think who was it? 50 Cent. Somebody said, if you're ready, you don't have to get ready. It was a rapper.
I don't know. Get ready. Get ready. Stay ready, so you have to get ready.
Yeah, that's how old you know I am.
I don't know.
Said right. That. At least I didn't say KRS-One.
That would have been okay.
But anyway, here's what you want to do. When that change happens, you have to get by yourself. When I say get by yourself, I mean turn off your cell phone, stay away from the internet, turn the news off. Don't go around your girlfriends, don't go around your boyfriends. You know, don't get any external input. Get by yourself. It could be your wife, your husband, whatever, maybe not even them. But you have to get by yourself and then ask yourself, what just happened? What just took place? Yo, what was that? Right? And then what you want to do next is you want to start to analyze all the pieces of what just took place.
Right.
So you're making sense of it.
Right.
First this happened, then that happened, and that affected this, and that. So however you do that in your mind, and then here's the big word, evaluate. So now you got to evaluate the thing that has changed, and you got to figure out how you're going to handle it.
Right.
So there's a guy named Stephen Covey. I don't know if he wrote a bunch of books, but one of them's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Right. So study Stephen Covey. He did this experiment. He had this glass cylinder, right? And he went in some town square somewhere, and he had large rocks, he had medium-sized rocks, and he had sand. And he said to people who walk by, I'll give you $100 if you can get all of these things in this cylinder without anything spilling out, right? So people tried a whole bunch, and just for time's sake, those that were successful, here's how they did it. They put the big rocks in the container first. Then they took the little rocks and they dropped them in between the big rocks.
Where the openings were.
Where the openings were. And then they took the sand, and all they had to do was pour the sand in, and because it was so little and its purpose was to fill in the gaps, it just filled in the gaps, and everything was inside the container. Now, those who tried to put the sand in first, and the sand took up a bunch of space,
right?
Because it just compacted and didn't go in between. And then they put the little rocks that took up more space. By then, they could only put like one big rock in, and it wasn't enough room. So my point I'm trying to say to you is when you evaluate what changed, when you ask yourself what just happened, now you know all the pieces. You say, okay, now what exactly changed? How is this affecting me? Now you can prioritize your big rocks, and you can handle them first.
Right.
That way you're able to manage yourself so you can use time and use change effectively, because you can't manage time. Everybody gets 24 hours. We all get the same amount of time, right? So people say manage time, and so I'm just going to play with semantics and words. I'm not saying that's wrong to say, right? I know what people mean, but I really can't manage the time. When you manage a thing, what you're doing is you're saying how much of it's used at this point, how much am I going to save over here, and on another day I'll come back and I'll get from my, the paper that I held back last time, I'm going to use it for the next project. That's what managing a thing is, right? Managing time, you can't necessarily manage time, it's going to keep moving.
Right.
But what you can do is manage yourself.
That's right.
Within the time. Manage what you do.
That's
you can put your big rocks in the container first.
Big rocks meaning those things that are most important to you, that are in your life, your family, your home, whatever it is that you need to do.
Right.
Most important things, most valuable things first.
Right. And those big rocks are also things that affect other things. You see what I'm saying? So if I have a big rock, I can put other things on that rock, or I can use that rock for other, but if I have a grain of sand, what am I going to do with that?
Right.
It's only valuable to that one grain of sand, right? So the big rocks are very important things, that's why I said you have to evaluate. You have to say what just took place so that you know, okay, I'm going to every day do, I don't know, ABC. Because if I do ABC first, then that's going to trigger, DEF and GEH. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out big rocks or things that you do that impact and affect other things. If I don't pay the electric bill,
Right.
then the electric goes off.
Yeah. You don't
The
have
food
like.
goes bad.
Yeah.
You don't have no lights. You know, we're uncomfortable. It's wintertime here in the East Coast, so now you're cold. You know,
Right.
so a big rock is paying the electric bill, right? Before the cell phone.
Right.
You know, mess somebody up right there. Right. Right. So once you do that, then now you can start checking off your list and you're starting to get things done. So in essence, what I'm saying to you today is that every day, you guys, every day, you got to create a success experience in your life. You have to create a success experience in your life. So I tell others this story, what Kim's sitting here, so it's kind of awkward to say it now, but like in the morning, so Kim makes up the bed. When she makes up the bed, it's like a hotel. It's like, you know how you see magazines and they got the bed with all the pillows and everything's straight and perfect? That's how she makes the bed up all the time, right? Well, I don't. You know, I just kind of like pull the covers up. Matter of fact, my theory is, well, I'm going to get back in it tonight. But one of the things that I try to do, because Kim she's an early riser, gets up before me, is I try to make the bed up.
He does.
Before she comes back upstairs.
He does.
Right? One, because I know I'm beating her to it. So that's a success experience to me, because I'm a little competitive.
He's always in a race with me, right?
And secondly is if I really take my time and do it nice, then she's probably going to come say to me, oh, thanks for making up the bed. You did a good job.
Nice job, honey.
Success experience. Something as small as that starts my day off with the momentum of success. Now I can get dressed. I can get my workout in. I feel like I can do that 15 instead of stopping at 12 or whatever the case may be. I can then come in and, or read my word, pray. I can do the things I set my day off with a daily success experience, even something small that sounds meaningless. But what it is this: when you do a thing, it's easier to do that thing again. So if you start with success, it's easier for you to continue to operate in success
throughout that day.
If you start with laziness and lackadaisicalness, it's easier for you to make that same excuse and be lazy and lackadaisical and push a thing off later. So, if you quit a thing, it's easier to quit a thing again. That's why we wouldn't let our kids quit. If you start the season, you got to finish. So think about it.
Amanda said, let's be real. Feel better getting into all made up nice stuff. That's right.
Yeah, you're right. That's what she says. It makes you sleep
I say it all the time. It makes them sleep better,
right.
Amanda.
So my point is, create a success experience for yourself on the daily. I don't care what it is. It could be cleaning up something, cooking something. It could be your diet. It could be getting exercise in. It could be operating in your creativity and creating Ami's World videos. It could be helping the less fortunate do something. It could be you creating a pathway to help someone get from where they are to another place. It could be you creating a system,
right,
so that you operate and teaching others that system so they operate more fluently. And by the way, system is an acronym, SYSTEM. System stands for save yourself some time, energy, and money. Whenever you operate in the system, you're going to save yourself some time, some energy, and some money. So create that success experience for yourself on a daily basis. And what I would like you to do in the chat, I'm going to keep moving, but if you're on, what are some ways you can create a success experience in your life? What are some little things you can do on a daily basis so that you can create a success for yourself in your life? Whatever it is, curl your hair right, I don't know, whatever the case may be, anything. I like to see them popping up if you got them. So here's a way that you can do that. I'm gonna give you a tactic. I call it the commit, calendar, cross method. Commit, calendar, cross method. 3 C's. I'll say it again. Commit, calendar, cross method. Right? So here's the deal. You have a goal, you have something you want to do on a daily basis, then commit time to that daily. Whatever amount it could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 45 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. You figure out realistically, because you looked at your big rocks, you realistically how much time am I going to commit to this thing on a daily basis, right? So there's a book that I'm writing right now. So I need to commit, let's say, an hour a day to that book, right? So every day, now you get yourself a calendar, right? And every day after you commit that time, not before, not during, after you succeed in committing that time, you check that calendar off, right? So it can either be red X's, or you can highlight something, or I don't know, but somewhere visually you need to be able to go back and look and see how many checks you have day by day. And the reason for that is, now if you see that you did it 14 days in a row, you're less likely to quit on yourself.
Right.
You're more likely to say, yo, I did that thing for 14 days. I got one more, right? And so you're addressing what's called different modalities in yourself. It's called multiple intelligence. It's different modality. Now it's your vision and your touch. You know, so you're motivating yourself, creating what's called a success experience in your life. So you're perpetuating success. You're living what's called a success-oriented lifestyle. You create that for yourself. Commit time. Get the calendar, cross it off after you know that time. Now, if you said you're going to do 45 minutes and you stopped at 43, right? You don't check that off until you come back and do 2 more.
Hold yourself accountable.
Hold yourself accountable. It's your success, all right? So question I have for you is, well, not a question, but the next thing you need to do after doing all that is ask yourself, what's next? So why am I saying that? So we told you about peace of mind. We told you about effectiveness. We told you about prosperity, right? And we kind of broke it down, some of the things you can do in these uncertain times so you can maintain those 3 areas of your life, right? We even gave you a tool to do it, commit calendar cross, right? So I don't know if you ever heard of Deion Sanders, right? His dream as a young boy was to win the Super Bowl. Well, he did. And there was an interview I listened to him that the day after he won that Super Bowl, you know, after all the hype and all the parades and everything is gone, he said that was the worst time in his life. Like, what? You just reached your goal, your life's goal. Well, that was the point. That was his life's goal.
He didn't have
He didn't have anything after that, right? So, and someone explained that to him. Well, you got to have something what you're shooting for.
Right.
So, you know, if you're shooting for here and you make it to here, that's great. But as you're getting close to here, you not to think about here. So you can go there. And as you're getting closer there, you should always be asking yourself on a daily basis, what's next?
Julie says that their goal every day is 5,000 steps outdoor. Our health is our wealth, our new saying. Good job,
right.
Julie.
That's right. I love it. 5,000 steps. Woo!
That's good.
I'm going to have to come hang with you. So ask what's next. And the reason why you want to do that is because change, although it's uncomfortable, it brings an opportunity. Change is your friend. And let me kind of explain that to you. So when you think about change, when change is happening, the first thing we say is, nope, I don't want it. Why? Because it takes me out of my comfort zone. It takes me out of what you know, makes me feel good and feel okay. But here's the deal. Change is actually a barrier in front of a door, right? And whenever you think of a door, say you're going into the courthouse, who's at the front door when you walk in? It's those guards in that machine, right? The metal detector. Now they even got the thing to take your temperature and all that stuff. They don't wait till you get on the 4th floor, you know, near to where you go to stop you and say, wait a minute, should you come in here or not? So change is like an opposition that stands in front of a doorway. What I'm trying to say to you is, behind change, behind that doorway is another set of opportunities for you. So in essence, you should get excited when you see that opposition of change in front of you, right? Because what it means is, if as I go through this, it's a doorway into a whole other set of possibilities, a whole other realm. Change or opposition is not going to happen after opportunity comes. It happens before it. So you got to get excited when you see that opposition come. And that's I'm saying to you, for you to be investment minded in survival situations. Be investment minded in survival situations. So when the tectonic plates move underneath you, and you got to do all you can to survive, right? Don't be survival minded. Be investment minded. You should be asking yourself, okay, so what do I need to do? What do I do with my finances? Do I need to take a course? What do I have to offer? How can I offer it? How can I expand my base? Who can I connect with? What does my network look like? How can I grow? So when those survival situations happen, you get investment minded. You pour in, because change is opposition, and after opposition comes opportunity. When you do that, then you put yourself in position to take advantage of the opportunity that's coming. You got to invest in yourself, my friends, because you are your greatest asset.
Hi, Amy. My cousin Amy said, change is my friend, but it doesn't always feel like that. So true.
Nope, it doesn't feel good.
Absolutely.
It's opposition. But that's all right. That's all right. That lets me know that something good is coming.
Change comes to interrupt that peace of mind, what we said about what we said earlier.
Right. But so yeah, it's the enemy of peace of mind.
Enemy of
it
peace
wants
of
to do the
mind.
exact opposite.
And it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, right? It's an enemy to get you moving.
Right. To the next level. If not, you'll be comfortable and you'll stay right there.
Right. Right. So ask yourself, and you can write that down if you want, what are some ways that you can invest in yourself, especially in these times of the pandemonium that we're living in, right? So just a real quick recap, you guys, how you manage yourself in when time and change keep ticking and keep moving, that's going to determine how every area of your life happens, you know. So managing yourself in these times is very important. You got to be on point. You got to be cognizant, right?
It'll also teach you whether you're unmanageable.
Ooh, that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, right. Another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you understand that what you expect can never disappoint you. So expect that change is going to take place.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to bring, but I know it's going to happen. So I'm poised for it.
Yes.
And the time's going to keep on ticking, which means that I need to manage myself within the time I'm given. And many times it means I need to operate within season. Because if I miss that season, I might miss that opportunity.
Today's work is for today.
Yes.
Not tomorrow.
Yes. But it determines what you'll accomplish tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right. And the next thing we told you is, listen, you got to learn to evaluate and prioritize change or thing that happened in your life.
Pick that rock.
Put the big rocks in first. Deal with those big rocks, then the medium rocks, and then the sand. And you got to get honest about that. And that's not always easy, because sometimes your family is the sand, depending on what's happening, or, you know, or depending on what's happening or what you need to take place. Sometimes they're not always the big rock. You know, their situation is not always your emergency. So you got to be honest with that. And then find ways to create success experiences in your life. You have to find ways, and start something small.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Something little.
A bunch of little things. If you get 5 little success experiences, now it's a good day. You're walking around on cloud 9, right? So when something a little more challenging comes, you're ready to attack it because you know how to succeed.
It's funny. I did that just this morning. Different exercise that I was doing, and they were so difficult. And every time I got one done, one set rep done, I was like, wow, just celebrate yourself for that. Got that rep done.
That's right. Do your best and forget the rest.
Absolutely.
Keep it moving, right? And we gave you the commit calendar cross method. Commit some time to a goal or a task that you need to do. Get your calendar and cross it off after you successfully committed that time. So you guys, hopefully, I'm at 8:59, so I'm at my time. Hopefully you grab some more, something you could pull out of this to help you move forward a little bit. I know it wasn't real churchy or anything, but I
that's
think
not what it's supposed to be anyway.
But I think this was straight kingdom thinking, and I think it's really good for us in a parent right now in this time in which we live. So I don't know. You have anything to?
No, I was so glad that you went flowing on with it. I was glad. I'm tired today, but I got so many gems and so many jewels from that, and I hope that you guys did too. And please remember that this message, what we shared tonight, it covers the total man. It's not just for your work experiences. It's for your home life. It's for your work life. It's for your relationship life. It's for every area of your life. So, okay, guys, did you say your little special speech?
Hope you grab some more so you can take with you to educate yourself, motivate yourself, and help yourself grow. And as usual, my friends, make it a great day or not, because that choice is always yours.
Guys, love you. Go ahead and continue to launch your life.
With Kim and Dr. New.
You just had to get that in there. Good night, you guys. Love you.
You are tuned in to that praisey station, Praise.fm, where we get our praise on. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Now I want everybody to clap your hands in this place.
Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we want to bring to you Memphis' own. The world's been waiting on it, and now the wait is finally over. Chantel.
Trouble in my way, I have to cry sometimes. Trouble, I have to cry sometimes. I lay awake at night, but that's alright, yeah, 'cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. After a while, trouble in my way, it makes me cry sometimes. Ooh, trouble, it makes me cry sometimes. I lay awake at night, but that's alright, yeah, 'cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. After a while, everybody clap your hands. Whoa. Don't look to the left or to the right. No, only He can help us win this fight. Yeah, He'll show up on time just for you. You got trouble in your way, it makes you cry sometimes. Ooh, trouble, it makes you cry sometimes. Sometimes I just lay awake at night, but that's alright, yeah, 'cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. I know Jesus, He will. Tell me if you really know Jesus, He will fix it. He'll solve every problem. Jesus, He will fix it. I know Jesus, He will fix it. 'Cause I know Jesus, He will fix it. In the middle of the night, when you're not feeling right, tossing, turning in bed because it's all in your head, go ahead and call on Jesus. He will fix it. You to let Him fix it. Jesus, He will fix it. It's much more than a notion, it's more than emotion. I know what it feels like when deep down you're broken inside. You're hoping for some relief in your life, and He told you, I'm right here by your side. He said, be cool because I'm your refuge. I will not fear though the earth be removed. These struggles won't change my order steps. God is my very present help. That's why I know Jesus.